Have you ever finished dinner, looked at the clock, and realized it was much later than you thought? Maybe you were caught up in a good book, chatting with family, or simply lost track of time. It happens to all of us. But here's something you might not have considered. That late dinner could be quietly affecting how you feel, how you sleep, and even how your body handles weight and digestion. Now, I'm not here to make you feel guilty for the occasional late-night meal. We've all been there, myself included. But if eating dinner late has become more of a routine than a once-in-a-while thing, it might be time to take a closer look. Especially after 60, when our bodies become a little more sensitive to habits we used to get away with. You see, as we get older, our metabolism slows down, our digestion changes, and sleep becomes more fragile. So, when we eat late, we're not just staying up with a full belly, we're making it harder for our bodies to rest, recover, and regulate themselves. It's like giving your body work to do right when it's trying to clock out for the night. In this video, we're going to explore just how harmful eating dinner too late can be. And more importantly, I'll share 6 simple, healthy eating tips that can make a big difference in how you feel every day. These aren't drastic changes or strict rules. They're gentle shifts that fit into real life, even with a busy schedule or a sweet tooth. So let's start with one of the biggest reasons eating late can sneakily affect your health: your sleep. Think about this. Have you ever had a hard time falling asleep after a big dinner? Maybe you tossed and turned, or woke up feeling like you hadn't really rested. That's because your digestive system is still working while you're trying to wind down. When we eat late, especially heavy or rich foods, our bodies stay busy breaking down that meal long into the night. This can interfere with the natural release of melatonin, the hormone that helps signal bedtime to the brain. Even if you fall asleep, your body may not reach that deep, restful stage of sleep as easily. And if you're waking up groggy or tired, that could be part of the reason. Over time, this kind of disruption can affect everything from memory to mood to immune function. Sleep is our body's way of resetting, and late-night meals can throw off that rhythm. So, what can you do about it? One of the best changes you can make is setting a consistent dinner time and sticking with it. I like to think of it as creating a gentle boundary for your body. Ideally, try to finish eating dinner about 3 hours before you plan to go to bed. So if you're aiming to be in bed by 10, try wrapping up dinner by 7. That gives your digestive system time to do its thing before you start to wind down for the night. And this next part is key. Not just when you eat, but what you eat in the evening matters just as much. Let's talk about portion size and food choices. After 60, our bodies need fewer calories than they used to, but they still need plenty of nutrients. A heavy, rich dinner late in the evening can make you feel sluggish, uncomfortable, or bloated. It's not just about heartburn or indigestion, it's also about how that food affects your blood sugar, your sleep, and even your weight over time. Instead of large, heavy dinners, aim for lighter, balanced meals that are easier to digest. Think grilled or baked proteins like chicken or fish, paired with steamed or roasted vegetables, and maybe a small portion of a whole grain like brown rice or quinoa. You don't need to cut out carbs completely, just be mindful of the amount, especially late in the day. And here's a tip that's helped many people I know, including myself: eat more during the day. Breakfast and lunch are your best opportunities to fuel your body, so you're not overly hungry by dinner. If you find yourself starving at night, it might be because lunch wasn't quite enough, or because you skipped a snack in the afternoon. By spreading your meals more evenly throughout the day, you can keep your energy steady and avoid that big evening appetite that leads to a late-night feast. Of course, it's not just physical health we're looking after here, it's emotional well-being too. Food is comfort, and dinner is often a social time. Whether you live with family, with a partner, or by yourself, it's completely natural to want that evening meal to be enjoyable. And it should be. Eating well isn't about giving up joy, it's about finding ways to nourish yourself while still enjoying the experience. So if moving dinner time earlier feels like a big change, start slowly. Maybe shift it by just 15 or 20 minutes at a time, until you're in a better rhythm. Make it cozy. Light a candle, put on some soft music, sit by a window if you can. Turn it into a moment you look forward to, not just something you rush through. Now, what about snacks? Sometimes you finish dinner early, but later in the evening, you start to feel a little peckish. That's okay, it happens. If you need a small snack before bed, choose something gentle on the stomach. A few slices of apple with a spoonful of peanut butter, a small handful of almonds, or a piece of whole grain toast with a dab of yogurt. These are all light options that won't weigh you down or spike your blood sugar. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. Tuning into what your body needs and gently supporting it with small, doable changes. Your health is not something you have to wrestle with. It's something you can nurture. Now that we've touched on the impact of late dinners and how to time your meals better, let's move into something else that plays a big role in how your body handles food, especially in the evening. Your body's ability to digest food changes as you get older, and that means what worked for you years ago might not sit so well anymore, especially late in the day. One thing that often surprises people is just how much slower digestion becomes after 60. Your stomach empties more gradually, and certain foods take longer to break down. That's not a bad thing, it's just part of the natural aging process. But it does mean that eating heavy or fatty meals too late can make you feel uncomfortable, bloated, or even interfere with sleep, like we talked about earlier. So, what can help ease digestion and keep things running smoothly? Drinking water throughout the day is one of the simplest and most overlooked habits. Hydration helps your body break down food more efficiently and keeps your digestive system moving. But here's the trick. Try not to drink large amounts of water during your meal. That might seem counterintuitive, but gulping water while eating can actually dilute your stomach acids, making digestion slower and less effective. Instead, sip water throughout the day, and just take small sips with your dinner if you feel thirsty. Another helpful habit is taking a gentle walk after dinner. Now, I'm not talking about a long, intense workout, just a slow, peaceful stroll around your home, your yard, or even up and down the hallway. Moving your body after eating encourages digestion, helps regulate blood sugar levels, and can even improve your mood. Plus, it's a lovely way to unwind and reflect on your day. If you live in a quiet neighborhood, maybe take a walk and enjoy the evening breeze. If you're staying indoors, just pacing gently for 10 or 15 minutes while listening to music or an audiobook can do the trick. It's these small movements that, over time, add up to big benefits. Now, another key piece that often gets overlooked is your internal clock, your circadian rhythm. That's the body's natural 24-hour cycle that tells you when to wake, when to sleep, and yes, even when to eat. Our bodies thrive on routine, and when we eat at irregular times, especially late into the evening, it can confuse that internal clock. Over time, this can lead to increased hunger at night, sluggishness during the day, and more stubborn weight gain. But the good news? Your body loves consistency. If you can find a regular rhythm for your meals, especially dinner, you'll start to feel more balanced, more energized, and less prone to those late-night cravings. It's not about being strict, but about finding a routine that supports you. And speaking of cravings, let's talk about one of the sneakiest things that tends to creep in late at night: sugar. Whether it's a cookie, a bowl of ice cream, or a sweet cup of tea, sugar can be incredibly tempting when the evening winds down. Maybe you've had a long day, and your body is looking for comfort. But sugar too close to bedtime can spike your blood sugar, make your heart race, and disturb your sleep. So what's the alternative? If you like having something sweet after dinner, try switching to naturally sweet foods like fruit. A small bowl of berries, a sliced pear, or even a banana can satisfy that craving without throwing your system off. Or consider herbal teas. Chamomile or cinnamon tea can feel soothing and warm, and they come without the sugar crash. And here's a little trick you might enjoy. Try brushing your teeth soon after dinner. It signals to your brain that the kitchen is closed for the night, and it can help reduce the urge to snack later on. It's a small cue that helps shift your mindset toward rest and away from food. Now, I know some of these tips might feel like big changes, especially if you've had the same habits for years. But let me reassure you, change doesn't have to be hard or uncomfortable. It just has to be intentional. Start with 1 or 2 small shifts. Maybe you start eating dinner 30 minutes earlier this week. Maybe you swap your late-night treat for a cup of herbal tea tomorrow. These are gentle, manageable steps that respect where you are while moving you toward where you want to be. And here's something beautiful to remember. Your body is always listening. Even after 60, even after 70, it's still capable of healing, adjusting, and thriving when you give it the support it needs. You're not too old to make a change. You're just wise enough to do it in a way that feels right for you. The way you feel tomorrow often starts with the choices you make tonight. And by being a little more mindful about when and how you eat dinner, you're giving yourself a better chance at deeper sleep, steadier energy, and better digestion. It's not about being perfect. It's about being kind to yourself and choosing what helps you feel your best. Next, let's look at something that can often trip people up when trying to eat earlier: those unpredictable schedules and social dinners. You know, those evenings where things run late, someone drops by unexpectedly, or you're out celebrating something special. How do you stick with healthy habits without feeling restricted? Those special occasions, late get-togethers, or even just a surprise visit from the grandkids, those are the moments that make life rich and joyful. And while it's true that consistency in your eating routine is important, it's also true that flexibility is part of a healthy lifestyle too. You don't have to give up dinners with friends or skip celebrations to stay on track. What matters most is how you balance those moments with your everyday habits. If you know you're going to have a late dinner, try to adjust your meals earlier in the day to support it. For example, have a more filling lunch with a good mix of protein, fiber, and healthy fats. That way, you're not showing up to a 7:30 dinner absolutely starving and ready to eat everything in sight. And if dinner still ends up running late, try to keep it light. You can still enjoy the company and the meal, just maybe skip the extra bread basket or that second helping of pasta. Sometimes, it's not the meal that's the problem, it's what we do after. Sitting down on the couch, feeling full, and then heading straight to bed an hour later doesn't give your body enough time to process what you've eaten. Even if you've had a lovely evening, you might wake up the next morning feeling sluggish or a little off. That's why, even on those nights when dinner runs later than planned, giving yourself just 20 or 30 minutes of gentle movement afterward can really help. A little walk around the block, tidying up the kitchen, or even stretching in the living room can help your digestion catch up and give your body the signal that it's time to wind down. Now, let's talk about something a bit more subtle, but equally important: your mindset around eating. After 60, many of us have a long history with food. We've been through different diets, changing advice, health trends, and personal habits. Some of us have struggled with emotional eating, while others may have gone through times of restriction or confusion about what's right or wrong to eat. And when we talk about meal timing, like not eating dinner too late, it's easy to slip into a mindset of guilt or pressure. But here's the truth: food is not the enemy. And you don't have to follow every rule to be healthy. Instead of thinking in terms of what you should or shouldn't do, try asking yourself, what helps me feel my best? When you approach eating from a place of curiosity and care, it becomes easier to make choices that support your well-being without feeling like punishment. You're not changing your habits because you have to. You're doing it because you deserve to feel better. You deserve a peaceful night's rest. You deserve to wake up feeling light, not weighed down. And you deserve meals that nourish your body and fit your life. So yes, eating dinner too late on a regular basis can impact your digestion, your sleep, and your overall health. But shifting your dinner time just a bit earlier, choosing lighter meals in the evening, staying hydrated, moving gently after eating, and building a consistent rhythm, all of these are simple steps that can make a real difference. Let's take a moment to gently go over the key takeaways, not like a list, but just as friendly reminders. Try to eat dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime when you can. Make your evening meal lighter and easier to digest. Stay hydrated during the day, but avoid drinking too much water while you're eating. Give your body some gentle movement after dinner, even if it's just a few steps around the house. And if your schedule shifts or a special occasion pops up, that's okay. Adapt, enjoy, and return to your routine with ease. It's not about rules, it's about rhythm. Your body is on your side, and it responds beautifully to kindness, consistency, and care. You might be surprised by how just a few changes in your evening routine can lead to better sleep, more energy in the morning, and even a more comfortable belly. Remember, there's no deadline on feeling better. Whether you're 60, 70, or 85, there's always room to grow, to feel stronger, and to take charge of your health in a way that feels joyful. And honestly, it's never too late to feel good again. Sometimes all it takes is paying attention to those little things, like when and how we eat dinner, that add up to a big shift in how we experience our day-to-day lives. So I'd love to hear from you. What time do you usually eat dinner? Have you noticed a difference in how you feel when you eat earlier versus later? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. You might just inspire someone else who's watching to make a change, too. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps the channel. And consider subscribing if you'd like more simple, uplifting tips on how to feel your best after 60. We're building a community here of folks who believe that health doesn't have an age limit. You are absolutely capable of taking small steps that lead to big results. Your body might be a little older, but it's still wise, still responsive, and still full of potential. You've come a long way, and there's so much more good to come. Here's to peaceful evenings, better sleep, and waking up feeling refreshed and ready to greet the day. Here's to living your best life at any age.